Hello, so I'm learning Sorani Kurdish. Slav, Tornit, Basham Spas, Zor Basham Spas. Emro min demoe Kirdin film. Min Penjao Hasht Salah. Min Hitch Mindalim Nia. Min Ishtakam Le Boire Tukan. Min Tojak Qiyabe Kurdi Dakam. Qi Brindakam Dawait. Qi Brindakam Dawait. Oabesi. I have been trying to concentrate on learning how to say I like, or I prefer, or I don't like something in Sorani, and with this I've been trying to build up my vocabulary at the same time by using phrases to do with what I like and what I don't like. And I don't like pizza. Ich bin ein paar die Pizza. Ich mag keine Pizza. So on, and I've been learning Sorani with YouTalk, the YouTalk app. So YouTalk is an app which helps you concentrate on oral part of the language. So you have the opportunity to speak into a microphone and check your pronunciation with the native speaker. Now, interestingly enough, because this video is about likes and dislikes, La ohebu pizza, malai pizza manapadaina. 我不喜欢吃 pizza. I've discovered that I actually like and dislike YouTalk. I like it because it's you've got the spoken aspect of it, so you can check your own pronunciation against the native speaker, and you can listen to the audio clips as well. But the reason I don't like it is it's a bit like a phrase book. Mas não gosto de pizza. Nie lubię pizza. Ja gillar inte pizza. So all the sections on YouTalk tend to be grouped in things like travelling, sport, and all the kind of categories that you would tend to find in a phrase book. And YouTalk is not graded, it's not a sort of progressive work thing that you do. So if you compare it, say, with Duolingo, for example, when you work through Duolingo, you're working from the basic level, building your way up, you're building your vocabulary up, and the lessons get progressively harder and more challenging or different, But with YouTalk, I find you can choose anywhere to look at, so you can choose any of the categories, from travelling or sport or medicine or something, and when you open up that category, it could have sort of very long phrases in it, or just a couple of vocabulary words. So I find this a bit difficult to sort of build on if I haven't already got some of the language skills. It's sort of like 0 to 60 in a few lessons. However, how I'm dealing with that is I'm looking at the lessons and I'm taking the vocabulary and making them into flashcards. I'm picking out the vocabulary that I need. So for example, in the likes and dislikes section, there are a few quite long phrases, and I thought I'll come back to those later when I've built up my basic knowledge of Sorani a bit more. So here's some Sorani. Hazem la pizza mia. Hazem la yaito nia. Hazardlachaya. Hi, my name's Andy, Manawim Andia, and I've been learning Sorani for a couple of months. Compared to other languages, I haven't made much progress, and that's because I haven't really had the time to apply myself properly. So it's partly that, and partly I've been finding it difficult sort of getting into a routine with this language because there aren't any apps or resources available that I can use in the background, so or as a quick sort of fix. So compared to other languages, say like Mandarin, I've been learning Mandarin for a year, coming up for a year, and I've made really good progress in that language. But in Sorani in 2 months I haven't really made much progress, but I will, I'll get into it. First of all, I've got this book from the library. So this is Hilmi's Kurdish Sorani, and it's quite a complicated book actually. It starts off with very detailed exercises and explanations. There's lots of information in here, so I think it's the sort of book I could use a bit later when I've got a bit more basic knowledge under my belt. I've been put in touch with somebody. I can't tell you his name because he doesn't want to be mentioned, but he's a Sorani teacher, and he hasn't been teaching me because he hasn't got the time and so on, but he's been giving me lots of information about where I can get resources from. He's given me some teaching materials himself to have a look at, and this book, Hilmi's book, he doesn't recommend because he said it's actually a bit sort of complicated and so on. The other books he recommends are all out of print, so I haven't been able to get those. I've only just been able, I've only just ordered, where is it, my Kurdish Sorani phrase book, so I've only just started using this yesterday. I'm not really a lover of phrase books because I think, in a way, they're not very practical. They come up with sentences like, is this bathroom the only one available, and things like that. It's not, I don't know, they use common phrases and common usage of phrases, but it's not sort of something that you can build on. It's not systematic sort of learning, but I will make lots of flashcards from this, and I will start using some of these phrases in here. The other thing with Sorani is that officially it's a dialect of Kurdish, but it's actually a completely different language to Kurmanji and the other Kurdish languages, and even the grammar is different. For example, in Sorani there's no gender, so if you're talking about him or her, it's the same word. In Kurmanji there is gender, so there's one difference straight away. Also in Sorani there are actually different dialects. So for example, the verb demoet, which means you would like. Some Sorani speakers say emawet, they leave the D off the front. So there's little things like that that make it confusing. So if you're trying to find learning materials online, you're bound to come across different dialects, different accents and so on. So I found a few useful YouTube channels. They're going to be listed at the end of this video. So all that in mind, also I ordered another book which is in German, because there's a big Kurdish diaspora in Germany, so there's bound to be lots of materials from German to Kurdish, which is this book, but it's not a language learning book. Actually, it's just an information book about working in Germany. So it's not the most interesting of books, but it does have Kurdish and German in it, so I might have a flick through that later, I don't know. Okay, I've made some flashcards with so the first YouTube channel I want to mention is Kamo Araz's YouTube channel. He has lessons in Sorani Kurdish that are quite funny and interesting and quirky, and he groups his lessons into topics, subjects and so on. And there's also lots of other videos on his channel to do with Kurdistan, and in particular Sorani, the Sorani region. And some of his videos are just in Kurdish, and some of them are in English with Kurdish lessons, and some of them are about the history of Kurdistan, politics and so on. So it's quite an interesting channel and worth a visit. Secondly, the next channel is Sarmad Kinany's channel, and again he has some Kurdish lessons on there, Sorani lessons. Some of the sound quality isn't great, you have to turn up some of the volume here and there, but his lessons are quite logical and sort of classroom based, so they're quite interesting. And then next up is All About Kurdistan YouTube channel. So again, this has videos on here about Kurdistan, but there's a very few lessons on this particular channel, but the lessons there are quite basic, and it'll be a good place to start for an introduction to Sorani. So there's a couple of Learn Sorani lessons on there, and they have little cartoons and so on. That's quite good and fun. Then I can't talk about Kurdistan without mentioning Nicky Crane. Nicky Crane's YouTube channel is full of videos of her learning various of the languages of Kurdistan. So she started off with Kurmanji as a challenge, and then she's done Sorani as a 90-day challenge, and I believe she's learning Zazati now as well. So I met Nicky at the Polyglot conference in Greece 2.5 years ago, where I already knew she was learning Kurdish, so she was the first person I contacted when I decided to learn Kurdish, and she's helped me and pointed me in the right direction for various language sources. And then finally, there's lots of videos on YouTube and lots of channels by Kurdish people based in the Sorani region, and here's an example of the beautiful city of Slimani. This is a YouTube channel from somebody based in the UK. It's a Kurdistan vlog, and it's a British guy who's travelled to Kurdistan to give his impressions and his sort of wow factor videos of the Kurdistan scenery and the people and culture and so on. But there are many videos on YouTube to do with Kurdistan. I'm following quite a few channels at the moment, so they'll be too numerous to mention, but you can search for lots of videos on Kurdistan. So I hope you like this video, and I hope it inspires you to learn some Kurdish. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button for notifications, and hit the like button. Thanks for watching.